Alright guys, I cleaned out the rear bulk here, cleaned out the cover, rear diff cover, cleaned out the center cover here, all underneath is clean, and the little gray cover here is all clean, that goes right there. Alright, but I'm at a point where I did take off this screw from right in there. There's a screw in there and this cup comes out, right? That's the way you're gonna get this bearing out of there. To do this, you have to, for example, put something here that's not gonna let the opposite side turn, right? And then you're gonna take your Allen and you're gonna put it right there, right? And make sure you don't have dirt and debris on there, because I do have quite a bit in there. And oops, there goes my tools. So if you have dirt and debris in there, just try to get it out of there with something small. Blow air in it, which I did. I sprayed some WD-40 in there to get all the dirt and debris out. But this angle right here works pretty good. Once you grab it, you're just gonna turn it, right? But the opposite end is gonna try to turn with it, so you're gonna have to manage something there. There you go. I think I got it loose. Oh no, it did not come loose. There you go. Now it's loose. Or did I strip it? Don't strip it, guys. Use a good Allen key. I'm gonna switch up because I do have another one here. Which one ever has a better angle in the front? So you have to hold it. You have to work some magic here, guys. This thing is no joke. These bolts are no joke. Let me see if I can do it. There you go. Gotta lose. Don't lose the bolt, guys, because it's a special bolt just for that, alright? And once you have it loose, let me put my pick away. You should be able to get this cup out of there, right? And the bolt is in there still. Leave it in there. Alright. The bearing should come right off. And I already did this one. The bearing should. I was trying to push the bearing off, but that's not the way to do it. So let me leave this on because I'm gonna pop that bearing off first. So back to square one, guys. Let's clean off the bearing area here. Right? So at this point, I'm gonna put on my first bearing, guys. First bearing. Let me clean all this off because I don't want no dirt. Alright, let's leave that right there. And I'm gonna be opening up this package here. There's hell of bearings in there. Different sizes, alright? So there's different sizes, and I believe you're just gonna have to match it up. These gotta be there's a sizes, they go by sizes, but you can match them up. And these might be the big ones, gonna be on the hub. Alright, but let me put these away. And these right here seems to be the correct bearings here. So let's take one out. Alright, just match up. This is the wrong size. Definitely the wrong size. This is the wrong size. And there's another package in here. There you go. Perfect. Perfect, guys, right here. This is the bearing we're looking for. Let's get one out. Alright. Smack on the bearing. It should go in just like that, alright? Brand new bearing, guys, right there. Alright. This end, make sure. Oops. Stay there. Oops. The bolt fell. Make sure this end is clean where the bearing race is gonna sit there. You could if you have a power wash, not power wash, if you have a parts washer, you could use that. So if you, but if you don't, I really don't recommend it, as long as you know you maintain your truck normally. All right, put in the bolt. Do not forget to tighten this bolt, guys. All right. The best way to tighten this is get both bearings in, get both bolts in, do one at a time. All right. And let me get this guy out of here. I'm gonna smack this guy out of there. Got the bearing stuck in there. Let me get this bearing out and I'm gonna come back. Alright guys, got my bearing out. Let me clean this off really well because we don't want that dirt debris in there. Right? The housing where the bearing is gonna sit. Guys, I know a lot of people are gonna send me a message, oh, you should have cleaned it, la 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 la. But guys, you don't have to be 100%. I don't have to be, I'm not gonna eat off this, alright? As long as you do a good thorough job, you should be alright. Here's our second bearing, same size. And the bolt is right here. If you like, you could put a little bit of thread lock, but this thing already has a thread lock on it, which is gonna hold still for you. And it's not coming out, right? Because there's gonna be axle right in front of it. All right. Now you need to hold it really nice. If you want, like we did before, use leverage with some type of tool and tighten this guy. Same thing here. Tighten this guy really well. Alright, so this is done. I am gonna wipe it more down a little bit more, and we'll put grease on this little guy. Real good grease. I have a heavy duty with grease. Don't put it very thin grease either. So there's our bearing, guys. Alright, differential, like I said, if it's not broken, don't mess with it. And alright, next we need to figure out what kind of bearings go in this guy right here. This was the main issue right here. Right, clean it up really good. Put some of WD-40 on it. Use paper towels like I showed you earlier. If you have a rack, use that. Alright, now remember the bearings right here, right? These seems to be the same size, guys. These are the same size, alright? These bearings are the same size. So we're gonna use two more out of here. One goes here. Bam, easy, should go on easy. And the second one goes right there, alright? Now we have a moving diff like it's supposed to. This is the center diff, alright? Clean out. I have a whole bunch of dirt debris in here. Clean all this out. This all happened when I took this truck into seawater, and little by little it killed everything. So we're done there, guys. And then we have another bearing on this little guy, right? Before we throw the bearing off, we need to match up a bearing. Alright, so let me put this here. And this seems to be perfect. This bearing is 15 by 25 by 5. And we have 6 of them in here in this package. Guys, use the bearings as you go along, because you will lose track which bearing goes where, right? So let's put one bearing out of here. Let's put it right there. And it should go in easily, fairly easy, alright? There you go. Right? You got that in there. I thought this was a bearing, but this is not a bearing, right? This is just center of the piece, right? This is what connects the shaft. Shaft connects to that, right? So we got a whole bunch of bearings out of here. Alright, this little guy right here is gonna be trouble for us. We need to get that bearing out of there. This one should be easy to pop off. But to get this bearing out of here, we are gonna have to remove all this right here. Alright, so let's get to it. Let's figure out the correct size that we need here. Seems to be good. One, two, three. All right, still not coming out. What I'm gonna do here is I am gonna try to pop this open. Let's see if this comes off. Slowly, guys, do it slowly. If you're doing this, do it slowly. It doesn't want to come out. There you go. Got it off. Alright, so this guy comes out. And then this guy goes out next, and I drop something right in the, it's like a thrust washer right in the center. That goes there, that's what goes against that. Right? There's like a little retainer here. Pin retainer, which is probably jammed up due to the fact that everything is jammed up on this XMAXX. Alright, I don't know how I'm gonna get that out, but we gotta get that out. The little guy has to come out. Maybe if I tap it, it's moving, it's coming out. Let me close out my plier here. It has budged. Let's put some WD-40 on it and we'll push it back in the other way. A little bit is just enough. Let me tap it that way now. It's corrosion, guys. All that sea salt has corroded everything in there. It's too fat of a needle nose I have, the plier. Let me use a skinnier one. Alright, there you go. Alright, do not lose any of these components, guys. And there's our little guy in there, which comes right out, right? Very simple, guys. Very simple to take off. Right? And there's a bearing here. We can take that out this way. It should come right off. And let me get that correct bearing. There's tiny bearings in there. This seems to be the perfect size in here. There's two in here. Alright, just make sure you match up your bearing, the holes of it. Because if you put the wrong bearing, you're in trouble. Redo everything, alright? So, got that bearing out of there. I'm gonna just clean this up a little bit. Right? So next, we're gonna put this guy in. Then we have this little guy that goes in. There's just a slack in there, right? And then we have our little pin that goes in. And the pin needs to be put in properly. I'm sorry if I have my camera a little bit off. I was working on the side. And that should go click right in center of that, just like that. All right, next we got this little coupler. It's like a little coupler in there. That's what all there is. If you want, you can put a little bit of grease in there, but it's not necessary. All right, and what this does is it eliminates that noise. And it gives a smooth little angle to both sides. All right. Then we have this little guy. It has a little notch on it which sits right in the center. It has a little notch that sits right in the center, right? And then we can put on this little guy right here. Alright, just push it on, smack it on, and then we have our 3 bolts that holds that in. Right? Make sure you always catch your threads. Like I'm very expert at this, so I know when I catch my threads and which angle I have to do it, right? Give it a nice snug to it. Don't smack it too hard either, because it goes into a plastic. You might strip it. It goes into the rear plastic end. So there's our new bearing. And where's my flathead? Because we need to get this out. I gotta go find my flathead. Right, so got my flathead, and I'm gonna just see these bearings. They're jammed. They're jammed, metal to metal, corroded. This one has a play in it, but still it's stuck to the housing where it sits on. All right, it's coming out. If you have a special tool like a puller, that's even better, but should be no problem here, guys. All right, it's coming out, almost out. A few more pushes. There you go. Don't lose the bearing, because we still gotta match it. Put some W40. Clean the surface. Clean the surface. All right. Now we need to find the bearing. Same size. Perfect. Should smack right on, guys. There you go. Alright, so I got all of my bearings on, the components, and it's time for us to put it back in. Alright, very simple procedure, guys. Make sure the housing is clean and everything. Alright, this little guy goes right here. Right, you can even put this last. Alright, so I'll put that last. Alright, no problem. This guy we took off from right here. Mine's clicking. Yours might not click in because it ate a little bit of the housing there, which is not a big deal. Alright, but it's gonna lock itself in. No problem. Right? This little guy sits right here. This bearing has to come a little bit forward, and it will sit on its housing. Alright? Alright, you hear noises because it has a little bit of corrosion or stuff on it, but no worries, guys. No worries. I'm not worried about none of that. Alright, this little guy, this is called I believe in a car, it's called a pinion. You might have to put these two together, right? You see that? The bearing go there. So have this smacked in together and then push it in. Alright, we're looking really good here, guys. I like doing this. This is really fun, right? It's a big job, hassle, but it's fun. I feel like I'm working on a real car, right? There we have it. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bearings in there, and we got 2 over here. 5, 6, 7 bearings installed on this to this little guy. Right. Next step is for us to put this in, and it's gonna sit just like so, right? It will sit just like that, and everything will move, right? It's making that noise because the gear is bouncing. Alright, I am gonna put grease on this, so I need to get grease. I'm waiting on that, and we'll continue. Alright guys, I'm back. Took a break. Alright, I thought about something. Alright, I got some grease here. I'm using this this is a high temperature grease. It's for multiple purposes. Alright, purposes such as the gears. So we just need to take some grease, put it all around this. Right, a little bit more, should be perfect. You don't want to overdo either, because that's gonna be a problem also. All right, and stick in your gear. A little bit on this. If it gets on your bearings, no problem, guys, because this grease that I have here is made for a lot of things, such as protect. It's high temperature grease, right? And it works really good on these, all right? And you don't need to put grease on these because it's just gonna shoot it out. But if you do want to put a little bit, guys, you can put it. It's all up to you. Put a little bit on it, all right? Doesn't matter, right? It's not gonna hurt anything, and you can spin it around. It's all up to you, all right? But really, you don't have to, all right? But it's that time you put everything back together, guys. So one step at a time, guys. So what I'm gonna do here first is I'm gonna put this cover on, right? And make sure your screws are on it. Make sure the bearings and everything's aligned, and it should, everything should turn. If I hold this in place, it should turn, all right? It should turn. All right, so let me wipe my hands down. I don't want to get grease on my drill. All right, so time for reverse procedure here. And this might not be the correct size. Broken one. All right, so this is the correct size here. So lock up all the screws slowly, guys. You don't want to, it's plastic, you know, you'll strip it. So take it easy. And lock it up, all right? And these two screws over here are part of the other cover. But I don't want to lose my rear diff here. Make sure your bearings are in and they go in nice and neat. Make sure your cover here, like I cleaned this one off really well. And it's like a sandwich. It's gonna grab onto those bearings. You could tap it a little bit if you like, right? And tighten up your bolts. Believe me, it was more harder taking it apart. I just don't want to over torque these. There you go, that's it. My gun, electric gun here is really strong, right? So we should have a working diff here if I hold the gear down and I turn it, all right? You see that? Tires are turning here. The output, the cups are turning, all right? My gear is not sitting properly. So let me put this little gray cover right here. That should lock everything down. The gray cover has a long bolt. One is very long, two are very long, and two are short. So the long ones go in this side. All right, there you go. And I'm gonna lock these up. Get them evenly, guys. Don't tighten the crap out of one and then do the other one, all right? Flush them in and then give it a snug, nice and tight. All right, there I am. Giving it one last touch. And we have our rear end all assembled. And look at that, I can feel the smoothness in this. All right, feels really smooth. Right, and there it is. It's perfect, guys. It's really good. I do have a little bit of, I think that's the that should be normal. It's all right. Feels good, I like it. Right, there you go. That's that. The motor will go in and that will touch this, but we do have one little piece right here that goes right here. We can put that in now, no worries. And it has a different size. This one is different size. I'm cold. You can see my hands are shaking. It's cold in here. I have to leave my door open because I have somebody coming in. But I got this little guy in. And there it is. Hand tight is fine because this is just a cover. Alright, we got that in, guys. Everything is nice the way it's supposed to be. Alright, perfect. Alright, don't forget this little guy, which you can drop in from right here. Right, I can push it in right now. You can put it before or after, but make sure you do get it because that's what connects the shaft underneath. Alright, so there's our bearings, and it's time for us to move everything out of the way, put these bearings away, and we're gonna put this back in the car, guys, back in the truck. And this shaft has to go. Let's lift up the motor. I'll leave the motor there. We're gonna open that side next. That'll be another video. But here he goes. It's not gonna be easy for us to get this positioned properly, especially with this shaft here. There you go, got the shaft in. There you go. It's nice and centered. Perfect. Alright guys, got that in there. And what I need to do is take a whole bunch of screws that I have here. I'm gonna put those in. Alright. But I do have some of the screws sitting in there, like those two right there. And I can lock those two up by using my Allen key here. That's how I took them out. Right, need to find my other Allen key. That one is no good. Here it is. This is the one. Alright, I can feel the threads already. I caught the threads. Alright, I need to get the other side, the bolts on this side also, which are, one is in there and then the other one I have in my hand here. There you go. There you go, I got this completely tight. I can get this one. If I want at this point, I can even tighten it with the drill, but we don't need to do that. Right. Let me give this one a complete tightness to it because I haven't tightened it all the way. Make sure all your bolts are tight, guys. Don't leave nothing loose. you'll be sorry on the tracks. Meaning while you're driving this thing. Alright. Bam. There I have it. Nice and tight. Alright. We got 3 bolts in the bottom. Get your motor in position because I'm going to lock up the motor as well. There you go. Nice. Hold it with one hand. Flip it upside down. Let it sit on it. And we have 1 bolt. 2 bolt. 2 more on the opposite side here. 1, 2. Alright. And these are going to be locked in. Go. Right, I got 4 bolts here for the motor. Alright, they are right in here. 1. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take my Allen, I'm gonna align them. And I'm gonna catch threads. Alright, there we have it. The motor is locked in. Our shaft here is locked in. I will put some WD-40 on this at the end. And there's a couple of bolts here. I'm going to put some greasing on it so they're good. They're not getting rusted for future sakes. And the motor, you don't need to give it a good slack because it's already pre-scrapped and you cannot move it around. You can move it around a little bit, but I have a little bit of slap there, which I'm happy with. Alright, so we're done with that. We need to continue, put on the rest of the stuff. Alright, so alright, take a moment, think about it, and we'll continue. Alright guys, got my left rear spindle here. I'm gonna change the bearings on this, so very simple procedure here. You're gonna pop out this retainer here. Do not lose this retainer because it's gonna jump on you. Just put your hand around it and push it off. Oh, I had it and then it went back in. Do not lose this little retainer. Once you take off the retainer, you're gonna be able to remove this little guy here, and then we have a whole bunch of dirt here on this, right? We'll put some WD-40 in here and on here. We'll clean this off really well. There, nice. Clean it up. All right. And then we have 2 bearings in here, guys. 2 bearings. So to pop out these bearings, you can either push them up like outward like that. These bearings are still good, all right? So I am gonna be saving the good bearings. Emergency, you never know. It takes a while to come in, all right? Just pull them off. The outside is a smaller bearing than the inside, all right? Next step, take a little bit of WD-40. Oops, you don't want to lose that. Put it in your cloth. Clean where the bearing is going to sit, guys, really well. Clean it off really, really well. Because if that bearing does not go in there flush, you're going to have trouble putting the hub on. Let's put this away. It'll take you a few minutes. Oop, there's my shaft. Clean it off really well. Scrape it with something, a pick, something sharp. wipe it out really well, guys. There we have it. All right, and now we need to figure out this bearing and this bearing. So we need two bearings. This does not match. This does not match. We got 4 of these bearings. I believe these are all for each wheel hub. All right, that's a big one. Got my dirt here. Let me move this dirt out of the way. And then we have more bearings. This is same perfect, right? So you take your bearing. The little guy is on the outside edge. Very simple. Push it in. Bam. Very simple. Push it in. Right? There we have it. Next, you take your hub, put it right there. Perfect. You take this little guy, make sure this is clean as well, because you don't want the dirt to be inside. Alright? Doesn't matter which way you put it. Shouldn't affect nothing. Alright? Get that guy in there. And at the end, you're going to take your retainer. Clip it on. That's how simple it is, guys. Alright. So we got 2 more bearings out. Push those to the side. Alright. And need to get this long shaft here. Right? This long shaft, and we have a screw here. Oop, can't lose that. This goes in right there, right? And then you take your shaft, push it right through. It should go all the way in, guys. If it doesn't go all the way in, you have to play around with it, right? There you go. Perfect. Take your little screw and oh, that's not the correct one. There it is. Hand tight if you want, guys. Just make sure it's tight, it's not loose. There it is. We're good there. Let me grab my Allen key, because Allen key has an angle. And that's it. We're done there, guys. Alright. And we got that there. What we need to do next is we need to put the wheelie bar, the cover underneath, all that goes in there. It has 2 long screws here. Alright, so this, you take this little guy, you put it like so, and this goes in just like that. But I'm missing the other piece. I need to get the other big piece in first. Right? So I'm going to take this, put it to the side, and I'm going to leave the bolts right to it. This guy goes right here. Got a whole bunch of screws, which I'm going to have to take off and put them in. The shock towers go on this, and the wheelie bar and the rear bumper also goes on this. Alright, let's take off the 4 bolts that it has, and we'll just take this little guy and we'll just stick him in. Alright, these screws right here gotta come off also. Alright, these screws, I gotta push them back out. There you go. And this little guy is gonna go in just like so. It's like a big puzzle, guys. There you go. Perfect. Then we got our 4 bolts, 2 over here. I can't see, but I can see this side. 1, 2, and then I'm gonna just figure this one out. There you go. Right? Take our drill. 1, 2, 3, and there's one right here somewhere. Right, and then we got the 2 going cross. Perfect. And then we got one on this side. Small little mistake on this side, only on this side. The cover didn't line perfectly, but I should be able to lift it up and put it in. And there you go, I got it. Perfect. Alright, now we can put our wheelie bar in and the bumper. Alright guys, next we got this metal plate. Remember this little metal plate? It goes right here. Got 2 screws on it. There you go. Perfect. Alright, now we can get our wheelie bar in without any problem. Okay, let's not put our wheelie bar in because then we're not going to be able to get the other side control arm in. So let's work on this like that. So let me move my camera a little bit back. We're going to be working right here, putting on the lower control arm. Alright, here's our control arm. Same thing guys, stick this little guy in just like that. We got our shaft, wiggle it, and it should go in flush, right? And don't forget about the little screw that goes right there. Alright, gonna grab it with the Allen key. And once it starts to go in, it should be perfect. What this screw does is it doesn't allow that shaft to come back out. I know we have a leaking shock. We could do that on another day. No worries about that. Alright? And over here, I'm going to be removing this little screw right here. And I'm going to get... Oh, can't lose the screw, guys. And I do have a little washer for this side that I invented. What that washer does is it blocks the view of the hole so the shaft cannot come out. Because I remember this shaft used to give me trouble. It used to pop out on me. Alright, there's the shaft. The little guy comes out. And we have a new package here. Let's rip open this package. We need the right side, the one that says right on it. That's the spindle we need. So this one right here, right in the top, is for the right side, right? Perfect. One thing is we don't need to replace the bearings. We'll get that out of the other one. Alright, so let's take another bearing. Oh, I grabbed 2 by mistake. The big bearing, go on the inside. Make sure you get it flush evenly. And it should stick right in. Just like that. Push it right in. And you're good. Alright? Need to get another bearing, which is in the other package. Alright, that's a little bearing. And that one go on the outside. Push it right in. There you go. Nice. Beautiful. Alright. And we need to take this tire off. Let's take this tire off. Take out the lug nut, put it away. Put the tire away. Same thing here, guys. We're gonna use our pick to remove this little retainer right here. Don't lose the retainer. This little guy comes out. This little guy comes out. We need the control arm out of this one. Let's clean the heck out of this one. Clean this really well. Put some spray on it. Inside, outside. Give it a good cleaning. You just twist it and it should be nice and shiny. Alright, after that, there you go. Perfect. Feels good. This guy goes on next, and your retainer, guys. And that's the last thing, your retainer. Once your retainer goes in, just be careful it doesn't bounce back at you, hit you in the eye, or if it goes flying, because it's going to be very hard for you to get that little piece. Alright, I think my bearing wasn't flush, but I got it. It's good there. Feels good. Alright, and what we can do here is put the axle in. Take out our shaft, throw that in there, and don't forget the little bolt, just like this one, but it's on the opposite side. And I do have a little washer, like I told you guys, so I do not, because that shaft kept on coming out on me. Came out several times. Big process on this XMAXX. But I'm liking it. I like the repair that I'm doing. It's mechanical. I like doing mechanical work. And I like to make my videos all the way. I don't like to, like I'm working them, but you're not understanding anything that I'm doing, alright? So next, what I'm going to do here is, for now, I'm going to wipe this down. You might not see me do a video on this, but I might do a video just on that shock, right? Because I remember I turned it. I think the cup got loose from inside, and it must not give enough pressure. The seal is not doing its job properly. Alright, that goes in there. Alright, we have two more shafts right here. One goes here. Sometimes you gotta wiggle it. And then we got one for the other side. Let me go over here. Put this in. If you don't want to do the shocks now, you could do them later. It's all up to you. And we have alright, there we go. Nice. Alright. And I'm gonna get the control arm here. We'll put the control arm, we'll put that control arm in next. Oh, come on. Alright guys, gonna grab a screw for here and there. Before I forget, let's put one here. So I gotta tighten that. And one goes on the opposite side, right there. catch it, you could use your electric drill, because you don't want to spend too much time just putting one bolt in. Take your drill and tighten that. And that's it. Alright. Next, got control arm here with the broken spindle here. Alright. And what we're gonna do here is gotta get my tools going here. My tools are just dying. That's what's happening there. Alright, so I'm gonna get this bolt out. This bolt comes out. And the shaft comes out. I just pull out the shaft with some type of tool, and this little guy goes here, right? It's gonna go that way, in this direction. There you go. One thing I don't like about these control arms is they flex too much. They flex and they pop out of the housing. And make sure you tighten your little bolt here. We're like pretty much almost done, guys, with the rear end rebuild on this little guy. So there's a little mistake I made. Not a mistake, it's alright. This little guy gotta come out, because we need to put a shaft right through it. Don't lose the piece. It's okay for the Allen key to fall out. I just can't drop this because I got a hole down below. It'll go right through. Right. And we have a shaft that goes right through here. I'm gonna have to move it around, guys. Move it around. Alright, made a mistake. The shaft that goes down there, or am I correct? Oh no, I'm correct. The shaft has a cup that goes on it. There you go. I'm correct. No problem here, guys. My Allen key fell down. Even though I'm saying I made a mistake, guys, it's all good. It's all right. You're gonna make mistakes here and there. Alright, there we have it. Bam, bam. XMAXX is back in business. Still need to finish out that side. Got the shaft here. The solid shaft. And push this right through. Again, we might have to tap it with something. Gotta have to walk back. Or did I put it through the wrong place? There you go. And this cup goes on. I don't know why they use cups on the top, but they should have done that in all of these. Here, there, everywhere. They should have done that. Because one too many times, I had a broken truck just because the shaft came out because the screw came loose, alright? Alright, guys. Probably 5 more minutes into this, and there's our broken hub. I usually keep my broken pieces all in on here. And we do need to put the one last piece, the wheelie bar. Wheelie bar has bearings. It comes with the bearings, but these are pretty good for me. Not touch them, alright? And This goes in just like so. It's like a sandwich here. Usually this will split apart, but we never went that far. But if you just push it around, play around with it, it will go right in, just like that. Look at that. You got it in. It's in. Just need to lift this piece up a little bit. So 1, 2, tight. Oh, wrong size. Tight. Tight. Let's flip it upside down, guys. And 4 bolts. 1, 2, where did it go? Gonna have to look for that screw. 1, 2, 3. And 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you have it, guys. Stay tuned for my next part, because I am going to be disassembling everything in the front. It might be a little bit less procedure because if you don't have to take off the motor, but we have a servo on that end, so nothing different probably. All right, so anyway, guys, thank you. Subscribe and watch my part 2 on this, and I hope you like the videos, guys. They're long, but I keep it real and I show you everything.